All right, Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine. The third oldest stadium right now behind Fenway and Wrigley. Opened in 1959, I think. And the interest of Chavez Ravine, before we spent a lot of time out there, since Nathan was out there, and we spent more time in that area, it actually went to the ball games. I never could figure that out, but it is actually in a ravine. I mean, when you drive up to the stadium, at least from one side of it for sure, from the park side, I forget the name of the park, but
I forget now.
Yeah, all right. But anyway, it is deep down into a ravine, and it's like a bowl dug into the ground. But the views are spectacular. I mean, any kind of view in California is spectacular, but sitting there in Dodger Stadium and looking at the mountains and looking at the trees and the view that you get is really pretty fantastic. Parking is tremendous. I mean, there's all kinds of parking in that bowl, which makes it easy. The exit and entry is not so easy because everything kind of funnels into one point. But the food is great. Dodger dogs, classic food. And I just think it's just a fantastic ballpark, partly because of its age, but partly because of the aura of the Dodger franchise.
Yeah, it's definitely a top 5 stadium for me, maybe even top 3. I think about it, but things I like are one, like you said, like it feels very California, like very LA, or like the hills in the background, like the California, like those style of trees and like the
palm trees.
The palm trees, yeah, I was going for it. And then you always you're in LA, and then they've always had that like light blue color wall, like a lot of light blue. And the Dodgers don't really wear light blue, but something about them using that in the stadium makes it cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not even in their color scheme, but it's all over the stadium. I wonder if it used to be dark blue and the sun just drenched it out to the light.
Could be, yeah, could be.
Whatever they're trying to do with that, it works. And then, like you said, another stadium. It's in the ravine, but it just feels huge. There's like 5 decks total, and like
right.
And it kind of slopes down a little bit or maybe not really. It doesn't really slope down, I guess. The outfield is not. There's not as much seating out there, so it's not like a full big stadium. But it just works for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
it works.
It's the only stadium that I've put above Dodger Stadium that I've been to is the old Yankee Stadium, definitely.
Yeah,
it's hard to compare the two. They're very different. They're very different. Like a Fenway.
Of course, we'll get into that next episode, but would you put it above Dodger Stadium?
What'd you say, Justin?
Fenway?
Yeah.
I would. Well,
I think I put Dodger Stadium. I might put Dodger Stadium above it.
Let me step back. I said I would too quickly. They both have something that makes them very attractive. Yeah. I don't think it's fair to compare the two.
It's hard to compare. It's very East versus West Coast vibes.
Yes.
Anyways, it's my top 3 stadium, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
Everything you all said is right on. I like the light yellow too. They have the yellow, like that's not in their colors. Like the yellow and the light blue is weird. Also, if you've never been there and you hear ravine, it's definitely in a ravine, but it might not be like the whole thing's not like in a ravine. No. Like the outfield is ground level. Like if you know what I mean? Like if you could walk right to the field theoretically from where you park in the outfield. Like it's ground level. But as you go up, it's dug into like a ravine. Like you said. Like if you enter from the top of the stadium behind home plate, you enter from the very highest deck.
Yes.
And you have to go down.
Yes.
But it's like that. But it's also interesting that I would have, and also the ravine, you may think it's like in a low spot, but the little ravine is like on a hill that's above the city. So like it's high up.
Right.
Like if you go up to the top of the entrance and you look out, away from the stadium, you can see a great view of downtown LA. Like it's high up, it's cool. You're in the hills, which is neat. I wonder why it had to be something about. Don't all stadiums have to be directed a certain way for the sun?
Yeah.
Because you would think that maybe when they built it, you would have thought they would have faced it with downtown LA behind the fence.
You definitely don't want the sun setting right behind the pitcher's mound.
So I'm sure that's why they faced it toward the hills. But like you said, you get a great, especially if you sit up high, you get a great view of the hills directly behind it.
Yeah.
They have a kind of faux Hollywood sign that says "Go Blue" or whatever. Yeah. Or at least they did when I went. And then you can also see the distant, like Sierra Madre kind of hills a little bit.
And you guys both have the advantage, or I guess I don't know what the word I'm looking for. You've been to a World Series there.
Yeah.
I mean, which to me is a classic thing to do. That
I'm glad I was we were sitting in the apartment. I remember trying to decide if we should go. I could have taken or left it. Joseph pushed us good to go.
Aren't you glad?
I'm very glad you did, Joseph, because that was one of my favorite sporting experiences I've ever had.
That's true, yeah.
One of the favorite. It was like going to Dodger Stadium, like to see like Milwaukee in July, which I've done before. It's like that's cool. But the World Series, it was night. The stadium was rocking. They came out with a win like late in the game. It was like it was game 6. I think they had to win to survive.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And and so it was a big win, and they had like a big drama at the end too, and people were like chanting, walking. That was an awesome experience. It's very like I don't know what else to say. It's just you have to see it. That's the thing I'd say. I don't care if you live on the East Coast; it's a long way away. You have to go out and see Dodger Stadium. If you're a baseball fan,
I agree.
You have to see Dodger Stadium. I mean,
I agree.
it's such a Southern California vibe to it.
I agree.
Beautiful, beautiful sight lines. So much history. Dodger dogs.
Right.
Best ballpark food I think you can get. Beautiful place.
I mean, I said it when we started the Dodge thing. I think right now there's 3 stadiums you need to get to: Wrigley, Fenway, and Dodger Stadium. I put Yankee Stadium 4th only because it's the Yankees and their history. But outside of that, I think you can take or leave any of the other stadiums that are out there. I mean, they're all good to go to, but I wouldn't say you have to go there at some point in time.
Yeah,
you know
especially when you're talking about if you don't live anywhere near these, like I wouldn't say you have to go
Right.
out to Arizona. Like it's an awesome state. If you don't live near Arizona, I would say
Right.
don't worry about it.
You're not going to miss anything by not going there. But I think if you don't get to Fenway, Wrigley, or Dodger Stadium or Yankees, but those 3, you're missing part of the fabric of baseball.
Of baseball, exactly. Not just the team, but of baseball.